Now it's visible?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about
Yeah.
Mitre Framework. In Mitre Framework, okay, like we have a two T and one P. It's basically technique, tactics, and procedure, right? So these are the
Hmm.
basically the phases we will be having here: reconnaissance, resource development, initial access, and yesterday we seen that phishing attack and everything. So this basically I'll record this session. I'll put under additional section of Azure. So you'll see one folder called additional videos. Under this, you will
Hmm.
see this particular video. So now,
All right.
what we are basically going to cover. So we are going to cover about reconnaissance, okay? Regarding to what? Regarding to the Azure Active Directory. So how we are going to cover. So we'll go to the document which is available here. That is called Azure Initial Phase, then Recon and Information Gathering. And what we are going to learn in this particular video. So these are the particular highlights points. Like if we know domain and the email of the target organization, then we can extract following information. So I'm talking about tenant, and tenant indicate basically directory, or tenant or directory, both are same thing. Or we can say one more word like organization. So if you know your organization, definitely you will be knowing a domain name, you will be knowing the email address of basically one particular employee, right? Even if you don't know,
Correct.
I'm going to give you a technique how to enumerate the email addresses, okay, of any organization using a manual method as well as automated method. So sometime, okay, like I'll provide a paid option to you, and sometime, okay, like I'll give you the manual process. Basically, it'll not require any money, but directly, okay, some kind of research is required on internet, and you will be able to collect each and every information. So in this section, we need to first focus on tenant ID, tenant name, authentication type, federation or not. You will understand what is federation mean in maybe next section in a few minutes. And then we have a domains, how to identify the domains, or we can say Azure services hosted on a specific domain that we are going to cover. Azure services used by the target organization, and we need to guess the email IDs using manual or automated way that we are going to learn. Now, the first tool down the line we will be going to focus on called microburst. So what is microburst? So microburst basically, will help to identify the Azure services which are available at a specific domain and subdomain. And we can enumerate if the target organization is using any of the services by looking for such subdomain. So it's very common, okay, like if you are here, it means if you reach this level, so I can assume that, okay, you know about DNS part, what is basically a DNS, what are the name server, what are the records, okay, under the DNS. So I assume that, okay, you might be knowing all this, okay. That reason I'm going a little bit faster in this particular area. The tool that we will use for this is basically called Microburst. It's very easy to set up. You simple git clone it or download the zip file, extract it, and go to your attacker machine. And here I'm talking about attacker machine, basically Windows machine. So I'm using Windows 11 machine, and that we have already done, okay, during our lab setup. That machine you can use it if you want to see how it look like. It is here in my case. So once you basically start, okay, your attacker machine, you need to run this command. So first we can download that microbus. We can go to the folder and run this particular command called import. So whenever you see any PowerShell file like PS1 or PSM1, something like that, you can run import module command and then import that scripts. And verbose mean whatever is basically happening, it's going to show you here. So you can see clearly it imported each and every information here, right? The script is loaded successfully. Now next section, what do we want? So let's enumerate some services. So how? So here are the command. So what I can do is I can use this one, invoke enumerates Azure subdomain, and I'm enumerating my tenant basically, right? So if I just go here and paste here, so this is the command, invoke enumerate Azure subdomain, and the base is hexagon and the verbose. So hexagon basically is the organization name, and when I press enter, you can see it started, and it's going to search each and every information regarding to the hexagon. So this will take a little bit time. Just wait for it.
So we don't need to give .com, right? Just the first part of the domain.
Yes, because we are looking for a subdomain and domain for this tenant. That reason.
Okay.
Because if we specify hacker associate or hexagon.com, right? So it's going to check only for the subdomain, right? Because we specify only the subdomain there.
Okay.
Good point. So example, let's say if you use Microsoft.com, so you're not able to search other than Microsoft.com. It basically search on that particular Microsoft.com only, right? It narrow down only to that particular domain. So we want everything, whatever you can find, okay, based on okay, your own algorithm, just give me directly. So I just given the name and rest automatically this script will identify everything.
Okay.
Okay, so in the screenshot, I think I given Microsoft, I guess. You can see I given the Microsoft and I'm able to see each and every information about Microsoft.
Okay.
Okay, this one. So even as I mentioned, the main purpose of microbursts are this one. Azure services that are available at a specific domain and subdomain, and we can enumerate if the target organization is using any of the services by looking for such subdomain.
Mhm.
You can see it still is loading. By time, okay, it is loading. Let's see other things. So task number one, collect following information. Like is the organization using Azure AD? This is the first question always come in our mind, right? So whatever
Yeah.
we are targeting, they are using Azure Active Directory or they are using some other cloud. So how to identify that information? Second, what is the ID of the tenant and how to validate the email addresses? So we have a different framework. By the way, we can use Office 365 Creeper. This is another automated we can say tool or framework for email discovery. Means it will check
Okay.
the email is valid or email is not valid. So I'll show you the demo okay of this by time okay it is loading. So for this we require Kali, another attacker machine. So I'm just starting
Okay.
the Kali one.
Harshad, once we are done with this, could you please ping me that command also, which we executed before the import? That you said like on the in that
This CD
import.
command, it is directly going to the directory. You need to go to the path using
No,
CD
no,
command.
not the, no, not this one. This is like we just opened the PowerShell on this path. The command which you executed
It is
from the
it is there
OCPP.
in the group. It is there in the group. You just go to the pin
Okay.
section and
Okay.
simple you can go there. This one. Set
Okay.
execution policy
So,
this command. Okay. The reason
all
I
right.
have added okay
Okay.
in the group. So whenever okay
Mm-hmm.
you want it, you can directly go to the group and copy paste.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. And you can also paste okay your own thing here. Okay, if you want and you can pin it. So everyone will get a benefit. Okay. Likewise.
Okay.
Okay. So you can see now this output came there. Okay. When we ran this command, the output are this. So you can see it identify all the information like hexagon. We have this, right? Name basically found. We also
Mm.
have a
Yeah.
mail server also. SharePoint we have a three. And we can clearly see that the mail is on this particular subdomain and Microsoft hosted domains are this hexagon on .microsoft.com and it is correct. And you can see these are
Mm.
the three SharePoint. Perfect, right? That we identified. And this we have done
Mm.
okay without authenticating to that basically tenant. We are basically
Mm.
collecting this information from outside.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next,
Mm.
if you simple type the same command, okay, like for Microsoft, let's see what the informations we are getting. But remember, you can hide the IP address. Okay. For this one is fine if you are testing your own tenant and everything. But if you're
Mm.
targeting any other organization, it's always better. Okay, hide your IP address.
Okay.
Okay, so in my case, you can see it is now again discovering all the subdomains and you can see everything we identified. Okay, this is the case number one, which we have finished it. So from outside, how
Mm.
to discover the subdomain, domain services, these are the method. Another one, okay, like you can validate the email. So first manual method I will show you. So if I go to that Google Chrome and if I go to here, incognito window, just type your login.microsoftonline.com. So you can see here if I just type my name here, Harsh MFA, right? For example, let's say Harsh at the rate hexsecond.com, correct? So when I press enter, you can see the username is incorrect. It means that the username is not there.
Yes.
Username is incorrect. It means this user is not there, okay, in this tenant.
Yeah,
But
username
yes,
enumeration
so
technique.
yes,
Yeah.
user enumeration. So if you just simple type here Harsh MFA at the rate hexsecond.com. So this way, okay, like Microsoft will never block you and you will be able to enumerate each and every username directly. This is the manual
Mm-hmm.
method. You can see the user is there, okay, inside this tenant. So you can see we got the response. So that's how it is
Hmm.
very easily.
Yeah.
So if you're able to, identify the email addresses of the particular organization employee, then okay, you can search
Hmm.
here and you can identify at the first point like it is valid or it is not valid. It means is invalid or it is valid, right?
Correct.
That we can
Yeah.
easily check from this. Now the problem here occur when we have 100 email addresses. Like suppose I got a database from internet for the particular organization, like the email addresses. Or suppose I have 1,000 email addresses. So in this case, this method, little bit, time consuming task. So for this, we will be, automate this stuff. But again, you need to hide the IP address and you can take 10 emails. So otherwise, okay, Microsoft will identify you are automating, okay, your attack and everything, then it can be possible it's going to block that request, not able to allow to
Okay.
make a call. So for that reason, like 10 email address one shot, another 10 email address from another IP address, another 10 email, okay, from another IP address. That's how, okay, you can do the things. Or 20 sets, okay, you can follow it. 20 email ID first set, 20, another 20 email ID another set accordingly. Okay. So in my case,
Okay.
if I just go to the Kali and let's go to our script called Office 365 OPT and cloud. In my case, it is under threat hunting. The script, okay, you can simply use it. You can see in my case, I have this one, Office 365 Creeper. So CD, Office 365 Creeper. If I go there, ls, so we have a py file is there, right? So I can simply run, okay, like sudo python 3. Let me just Office 365 Creeper.py. Let's see it work or not. You can see it giving me the error because this is not a Python 3. The script written in Python 2. So I can simply type Python 2. It means this one. And you can see clearly there will be no error. It means if I type H command, you can see these are the options. Okay, I can see that. So these options are there. So what I can do is I can simple type example. Let's say I want to verify the emails. I can type E option and I can simple search example. Let's say Harsh MFA at the rate hacksecond.com. Then you can see clearly this email is valid, right?
Hmm.
But again, this is manual one, so I want automated. So what I can do is I can use F instead of manually writing email ID, one email ID at a time. I will use F option and I will specify the file. So in my case, I have a file basically which is target emails. Okay, here. So when I press enter, you can see it's going to check and perfect. So we identify this is the valid email address, and you can see other email addresses are not valid. Okay, only two
Okay.
email addresses are valid. So this is
Hmm.
the way. That's how,
Okay.
okay, you can use Office 365 Creeper. Okay, this is the way. Installations is
Mm-hmm.
very simple. You can simple go to the Google and simple type your Office 365 Creeper. GitHub you can go and you can simple download from here. Okay, this one. Git clone it and you can simple run, okay, in Python with the help of Python basically. And you should use Kali machine because in Kali Python 2 and Python 3 both are installed there. Otherwise you will get a dependency problem.
Okay.
Okay, so that is done. This is our second case. Another way to
Hmm.
enumerate a tenant are these ones. So get if the Azure tenant in use, tenant name and federation. So I'll give you a universal link. You can copy this link in your browser. Example, let's say this one. I'll copy from here. And if I go to that Google Chrome and if I simply go to incognito mode, I'll paste here. And you can clearly see that I enter the fake username. You can see the username is not
Hmm.
correct. I don't have a username with this name, right? But when the moment when you
Hmm.
press enter, you can clearly see that, okay, like yes, this organization called Hacksecond, they are using Azure AD. Why? Because you can see we have a manage option here. So manage
Oh,
means Azure is managing the security of this tenant. This is basically meaning, right? And you can see Microsoft Online.com cloud
Microsoft.
instance, and this is Federation Microsoft Online only. It means Microsoft is managing the security. That is basically meaning. Okay. And the moment when
Okay.
you, for example, let's say when you type here example, let's say only hack, I'll remove some S in it and let's see it is there. You can see we don't have any information. It's called unknown,
Hmm.
right? Because this domain is not correct. But if I just simple type example, let's say ATT.com, ATT.com, this is another website, and you can see clearly ATT also Federation is basically Microsoft and it is managed by Azure. Okay, that's how you can change it. And suppose you want to identify IBM.com, so you can simply type IBM.com, and here you go. And it is not managed by Azure, it is managed by IBM Federated.
Okay.
Federated means on-prem, and you can clearly see
Okay.
that okay, we identify the login page of this one. This is a login page, by the way. So login page means now we can test OS top 10 for this application, right?
Hmm.
So if I simply go to this one place and paste and go, you can see, by the way, it is not coming. It can be possible because of the SAML one. What I can do is I can simply remove that SAML like this and enter. And you can, here you go, right? You can see clearly we have a credential page and we can perform brute forcing and many things we can do that here,
Hmm.
right? This page is discovered.
Yeah.
It is called on-prem.
Okay.
Okay, that is basically the way. Second is if you want a tenant ID. So for this, you can simply copy this link. It's a universal link again. You can simply go and paste here. But remember, you need to specify domain. So suppose if I type okay like my domain, which is hacksecond.com, and you will see the tenant ID is available here. Okay. So this tenant ID basically you can easily see that from the Azure portal, Azure Active Directory. And when you go to the Azure portal, see, this is tenant ID. So this when I log in, then I can see, right? But here I can see outside only.
Hmm. So can we misuse this tenant ID? Username enumeration, I know this is a defect by itself because if we are able to do username enumeration, we can brute force. But how can we exploit the tenant ID? I mean, like, if we get the tenant ID, can we report this?
No, no. By the way, according to documentation, okay, like they will not treat okay as a vulnerability because it is a requirement of OAuth. This one.
Hmm.
So
So,
OAuth require
uh,
tenant ID to process.
okay. So it can't be exploited if in case
No, no.
if
It,
we
it
just
can be
get it.
it can be exploited, but you require okay like one successful user credential, like initial access. Then
Okay.
because by the way, it is
Mm-hmm.
your tenant ID now. Why is not exploitable? It is
Yeah.
exploitable because it's your tenant ID and everything is
Yeah, but we
under
need
that
other
tenant.
information.
So
Mm-hmm.
this is basically that's how we need to approach, right? Black hat perspective. That's how we need to go further. That is reconnaissance right
Mm-hmm.
now. What we are doing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, that is basically meaning. So
Mm-hmm.
the point here is we can identify any tenant ID from outside without login.
Okay.
It means that is basically the discovery. Now, if you
Mm.
want further, you can use the tool called AD internal. You can see the link is available here. You can simply go to GitHub, download it, and simple import the module called AD internal. Okay, so in my case, I'm doing the same here in my Windows machine. So import
Mm.
minus module AD internals minus verbose enter. So AD module is imported successfully. Now the same information, whatever we have done with the help of link, I can identify with the help of this command. So let's go and paste here. So what this command basically will do. So it's going to, get means it's going to collect the information regarding to the login information of this user account. Let's enter. And let's see this user, okay, you can type any random name, okay, just like test or something. You can see clearly the
Okay.
federation brand is hacker associate is correct, and you can see the domain
Mm.
name is this one, and we successfully identify the Azure is managing the security, right, and has a
Oh, okay.
password true. Is it true? There you can see clearly.
Mm.
The same way we can okay tag other thing like get a tenant ID. So if you have a correct domain, you can simple get a tenant ID of this. So if I just type here hexsecond or microsoft.com, you can see I didn't get the tenant ID of this, right? Because some typo error, let me just type one again. You can see we have a tenant ID
Mm.
of this one,
Exactly. Yeah.
hexsecond.onmicrosoft.com. If I just type
Mm.
okay hexsecond.com as per our domain, this is my domain, right? So you can see it have ID called 1B, correct?
Yeah.
So this is
Mm.
basically identified directly using these commands. Same way we can
Okay.
identify the tenant and domain, which is get tenant domain. Okay, same way. So if you want to identify domain, we can simple just type here microsoft.com and enter. So you can see we successfully identify all the domain regarding to Microsoft very fastly. That is basically the way. That's how we can perform a recon. Uh,
Hmm.
if you want
Okay.
to get all the information as an outsider, you can simply use this one. Let's go and you can see what will happen. Okay, this and you can clearly see that. And this is not me, by the way. Okay, this is not my domain. I simple randomly I type Harshad here, and you can see
Okay.
that the brand name is White Coat Technology, maybe some other company, but is not related to my name. Okay, only the name is there,
Yeah.
but I not on this domain.
Okay.
Okay, so that is the reason I just want to check. But you can see is White
Hmm.
Coat Technology and tenant name is Harshad. Okay, and the
Hmm.
name is this one, and you can see DNS true, everything true, and type is managed. It means Azure is managing the things.
Hmm.
Right? So that is basically we can identify each and every information from these areas. Correct, and that's all for these particular sections. Okay,
Okay.
now I'll share the PDF before going. So yesterday I think I shared to some other students. From there I downloaded and shared to you. Okay, so you just give a try on this area. And same way, tomorrow we will be focusing on some other attack. I think maybe Tuesday, right? If I'm correct.
Yeah, Tuesday morning.
Tuesday morning, correct. Tuesday we'll try illicit consent grant attack, and another level of modern attack. So there is again
Okay.
Microsoft still okay try to stopping that attack, but still they are not able to do that. Some reason can be possible because of if they will block that things, user will not able to host the application. So they are trying from I think long back around 3 4 year before they were trying, and they are displaying the message on the portal like we will be providing the updates, so user not able to give a proper consent. We only verify from the proper publishers and lot of thing. Okay, like basically they are given the update, but still this is not implemented properly. So I'm going to show you like as an attacker how these people can exploit it and how they can get everything, like they can hack OneDrive and everything, right? So example, let's say if I have this one office.com, office 365 example, let's say. So this is my account, right? So I hold it because I have a subscription. So that
Hmm.
entire thing, right? If you want to download the contents of whatever is here present, okay, I can easily do that with the help of illicit consent grant attack. Okay, so what
Oh,
exactly is illicit
okay.
consent grant attack and everything that we'll see Tuesday morning.
You mean like without authenticating ourselves?
No, we are not authenticating. We will be again providing a auth link basically to the user, and that is not a
Mm.
phishing attack. That is called auth attack, auth phishing attack. Basically, some people call
Okay.
auth phishing, some people call auth exploitation. But again, I'm not
Mm.
basically creating any subdomain, name chip, and everything. I directly create a uh, the same link. I will use it login.microsoft.online.com, and
Mm.
instead of this. I will host my content inside. So example, let's say this is the website, right? Login. This video is already available okay in the portal. If you want to see, you can see from there. Illicit consent
Oh,
grant attack. Okay. So example,
okay.
let's say if we
What
go
number
there,
is this?
number I need to check. You can check illicit consent
Okay.
grant attack. So
Okay, I'll check.
if you see this basically link, and if you just go to the redirect URL, right? So you can see
Mm-hmm.
this part. I will change it.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
So this
Mm-hmm.
part I will change okay to attacker, IP address or attacker domain name. So people hardly
Mm-hmm.
see this part. Okay, like even if you observe, okay, like when I open it, right? Have you seen this one?
Mm-hmm.
Did that you'll never see, right?
Actually, in web application, I always check like redirect URL and I try to navigate, like for example, Google to google.com or something like that, but it never worked for me.
No, no, this is okay, basically open redirect part. But again, the moment when you open login.microsoftonline.com, okay, you changes the password, everything, right? Recently, you created your tenant,
Yeah.
you changes the password. So
Mm-hmm.
have you noticed the
Yeah.
URL there? No, right?
No, no, I
So
didn't. Yeah,
yes,
I
this I'm
didn't.
talking about. So generally, people what they will do, people trust on this domain, right?
Correct, correct. Yeah.
Login.microsoft.com. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll
Yeah.
not change here. We will change in this background,
Oh,
like
nice,
like
nice.
local host or something like that. And then that is basically more dangerous. And we will give exact application, because application you can see, right? If I host application, I can share to you. You can see the application, right? And then case, okay, if you have account in Azure, and if basically give a consent, then game over. Then I can directly reach to your OneDrive and everything, and I can download all the content.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this again
Okay.
a very
Yeah.
modern attack. We'll see the background of this, the architecture, everything in the coming section. But again, this is
Sure.
again my personal experience. I hardly see people will notice this area. Okay, they will
Correct, correct.
notice
Yeah,
only where
yeah.
they perform a specific endpoint. But here directly
Correct.
is a Microsoft, that
Mm-hmm.
they'll hardly check this basically endpoint for these areas, right? And you can see still, okay,
Correct.
we have a percentage 3, a percentage 2, and still I'm not able to see the problem here. You can see still is a very big URL. I'm not
Full.
able to see what is passing there.
Correct, correct. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
if
If
I
you don't perform penetration testing, we hardly pay attention to the URLs, only
yes,
the
correct,
bold part. You're
correct,
right, like
and
login.microsoft, only that one.
correct, and also phishing attack. You seen, right, yesterday the example AB in Babe example, if you remember.
Correct.
How
That was very
it's
legit. Yeah.
so only
Yeah.
just they
Even
change, I
your
think.
domains are kind of very legit. Like no one can tell these are fake.
Correct. So that's the reason. Okay, like I purchase, I just pay for this name, pay to name chip. That reason. Still, I'm going to purchase a few other domains, so it look well legit. So no one can basically, like predict that, okay, like this can be used for malicious purpose.
Oh, okay. So, do we need to purchase more domain? Like, since there is some problem in one of the domain, so are we gonna use those domains in future?
Yes, yes, we will be using, okay, like minimum two domain is required. If something is not working, we need to go with other domain. But right now, they not to purchase. In future, is required, then only you purchase.
One is working fine. Maybe I'll just chat with them again and ask
Hmm.
them to see like what is the problem in the other one, why I'm not able to verify it.
Correct, correct. No problem.
And Splunk and all we will be using, right?
Later stages. Splunk basically, once you
Uh-huh.
understand all the attacks and everything, then it makes sense actually. Because Splunk is a
Okay.
SIEM tool, na? Security Incident Event Management. But yes, but we
Yeah,
will be
yeah.
using, okay, like in this, 30-35 days only, because otherwise your enterprise will expire. Edition.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
free trial, na? It is a free trial.
Oh, okay. I didn't install it. I just downloaded it in Windows machine. It was asking me for the license or something, and I just stopped it. I thought maybe like when it's required, I'll install it at that time after checking with you.
Correct. This is the best
Same,
way. So,
same with yeah,
correct, correct.
same with Bug Bounty Pro. I didn't install it. I just purchased it.
Correct, correct. Then, okay, just purchase, just means just keep in your hard disk. We'll see later stage, everything.
Yeah, yeah. It's there. It's there.
Okay. So that is
Mm-hmm.
the part. Okay, that's all for today. Just practice it. Any problem, just let me know. And simple, you require Windows machine, configure all the tools, and just play with all with this. Okay, like the scripts which I shared today.
Okay, and we do have the PDF, right, for this one? If you can just tell me the PDF number.
I shared
I
to you
mean the
already here, na? Discord.
okay, okay. I'll just pull that.
They pull that and then, okay, drag it to Evernote sequence wise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay,
sure,
because as I
sure.
mentioned,
I'll
this
do
is the
that.
new content recently created. Now I'll upload, okay, to that portal, the courseware, under the
Okay.
additional section. Okay, so we will see, okay, maybe
Mm-hmm.
in next 24 hour, the PDF will be available under additional section. But just for this section, because we are doing a live training and we are going sequentially, so that part, okay, you can simply drag it to Evernote. So you'll get an idea. After this session, we immediately jump to this area, and this is the PDF. Likewise.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Actually, in the portal, there are multiple videos before this, before the 10 sessions. So do we need to go through that or
Yes, you
it's
can,
fine?
because see, I just given the full content to you. Now depend up to you how you basically arrange your time and how you basically go to the video. Live training is different. By the way, whatever require, everything is there in the video. Like whatever the
All
attack
right.
I'm going to basically, perform maybe next day or maybe day after tomorrow or after 1 week. Everything is already there, okay, in the particular video, and you will be getting a more content there in the video as compared to here, okay, because we will be doing a lot of things, right? So video I recorded, okay, in the sequence manner properly, like basics setup. If you just go to the video, you'll have an idea basically, right? And you can see the Azure MFA is on the number 10th. So above this, okay, like I have basically explained a lot of other concepts, so you can better go
Correct.
sequentially whenever you get a time. Now regarding to the sessions, for example, let's see if I use example, let's say if I describe illicit consent grant attack, so immediately go to that video, and that, okay, you can finish it off, and then again go to the other video likewise.
Mm-hmm.
You get my
Sure.
point, right?
Okay.
So video better you can go sequentially because it is recorded okay for corporate sequentially only, in sequential manner only.
Okay.
Okay, so video generally what happen? Okay, sometimes people not go for the live training, they will go with the self-paced training because of time constraint, right? Some other US or other country, okay, they have time gap. So what they will do, they will purchase the course and they will basically go through the videos and everything. And if they further have doubt, they'll come to me and then I'll go online and I'll explain to them. Likewise.
Okay.
Okay, so self-paced because even we also provide a online, online self-paced training. So that accordingly they can watch the video, they can learn directly according to their own pace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that reason
Makes sense.
you will see all this in sequence properly.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. So next class is Tuesday morning, right?
Tuesday morning is correct.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you got a
Okay,
long weekend.
yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Have
you.
a good
Take
night.
care. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Bye bye.